Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome to another awesome episode of Urban Nerd Weekly.
Today is Wednesday, February 12th.
And it's episode 7 of season 5.
Thanks for listening again, guys. Tune into the digital download, different releases this week, and don't miss our Nerd News Update.
On today's Nerd News Update, Gayle King is persona non grata amongst black culture.
T.I. criticized for having Fabulous as a guest on his podcast.
After Fabulous has been accused of domestic violence.
Juicy Smouye has been indicted in Chicago.
The Samsung Galaxy Z Flip is blowing up on the tech world this week.
This week's topic:
comic book vixens.
Find out all that and more.
So tune in on today's episode of Urban Nerd Weekly.
I got a new podcast out I want y'all to subscribe to, bro. It's called Urban Nerd Weekly, available on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play Music.
It's your boy Space
and Digital Kitty.
God damn, that was a big ass time gap that was.
My bad. You might be a delay.
Yeah. Well, what's up, guys? We got Nano Kitty Cat via cell phone right now because rain, sleet, snow, or shine, we got to make this show go on.
Broke bitches.
Well, yeah, so. But yeah, man, glad you guys decided to tune in and nerd out with us, like you said earlier. We are smack in the middle of season 5 right now, episode 7. Today's February the 12th. A lot going on this week, man. Lots going on in the nerdosphere. But before we get into all of that, we want to remind you guys, if you haven't already, to go ahead and subscribe to the show on all podcasting platforms. That's talking about Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn, Outcast, Shoutbox. Or is it Outbox is Shoutcast? I can't remember. Pretty much everything except Spotify. Spotify be player hating. I mean, I ain't mad at them. You know, they got their requirements or whatever. And we're going to make our way on the Spotify.
Bullshit too.
But I don't want to say all that, and then we finally get on Spotify. They do shit like stop people from listening to our show because they think we bashing them. So yeah, let's not do that.
I mean, is Spotify actually listening to our show just for them just to hear us bashing them? Then kudos to them for actually listening. Subscribe.
No, like that's bad. That's one. Like, that's them giving us one listen that decides that we don't get played anymore. That's crazy. No, that one listen ain't worth it. Like, I ain't finna be happy that they listen to the show. Even that's just like saying that somebody you got a crush on, like you happy they spoke to you, even though they told you to go fuck yourself. Like, hell no.
Relatable.
Okay. But yeah, man. So like I said, go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you leave comments and rate the show. And don't forget to hit us up on social media, man. The show itself has its own pages. You can hit Urban Nerd Weekly up on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at Urban Nerd Weekly, one word, no spaces. You can also catch your boy on the big 3. That's Space Was Here, SPAYCEWZHERE. And like I said, you can find me on all 3 of those. Nano Kitty Cat, you want to tell them where you at?
I am on Kitty at Facebook. I also got Nano_Kitty_Cat on Instagram and on Twitter, so you guys go and check that out.
Hell yeah. Right about now, we finna slide on over into the digital download, and then we're gonna tell y'all all about what we talk about on today's Nerd News Update. On this week's digital download, in the video game section, coming out on February 11th, we got Ori and the Will of the Wisps, available on Xbox One and PC. Also available on February 11th, we got Yakuza 5, available on PlayStation 4. Coming out on Valentine's Day, February 14th, we got Street Fighter V, aka Street Fighter 5 if you don't know Roman numerals, Champion Edition, available on PlayStation 4 and PC. We got Darksiders Genesis on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. And we got Dreams available on PlayStation 4. And that also comes out on February 14th. And in case you didn't catch that, in the movie section, of course, all movies come out on Friday. So these are also all coming out on Valentine's Day. We got Fantasy Island, The Photograph, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and Sonic the Hedgehog, which y'all know was supposed to come out in November and shit, but this is the official re-release date, the new release, not re-release, but the new release date, because it never got originally released, so it's not a re-release. But it's the new release date because they had to go back to the drawing board on drawing, animating Sonic for the movie and shit, because it looked really, really weird. So I'll be anxious to see how good that looks, though I'm sure I'll be occupied by either work or lady, girl, fiance, on Valentine's Day. So I'll let y'all know. I'll let y'all know on my social media what the fuck I'm gonna be doing on Valentine's Day. But if I go see Sonic, though, I can pretty much tell you I'm gonna bootleg the whole movie for y'all. In the book section, all available on February 11th and available on Goodreads, Amazon, and Book Depository. We got Ink in the Blood by Kim Smidgecall. Kim Smidgecall. This training's being held by Ishmi Ahmed Williams. The New David Espinoza by Fred Aceves. In the Shadow of the Sun by E.M. Castelson. And in the music section, available on February the 14th, we got Suicide Boys, Stop Starting at the Shadows, and Tame Impala with The Slow Rush. And that will be all for today's digital download for this week. Alright guys, so before we break y'all off with today's nerd news update, I wanted to let y'all know about some more content we got floating around on the interwebs. Y'all can finally check out the full interview of Urban Nerd Interviews, Mr. Cool Cutlass. That's right, if you guys remember a couple episodes back on the Nerdy Bryant episode, we gave you guys a little clip of an interview we did with a Florida rapper by the name of Cool Cutlass. And now now that this episode is dropped, that also means that interview has officially been dropped. So make sure y'all guys go check that out and support the interview, and make sure y'all check out Cool Cutlass if y'all haven't already. He's got music available on Spotify, Apple Music, as well as his mixtape is dropping today, but we'll tell y'all a little bit about that later. Also, you guys can check out one of my latest parody songs called Back Snacking. It's a parody to Yella Beezy featuring Quavo and Gucci Mane's Back At It song, which was a smash hit. So y'all make sure you guys check that out. Nano Kitty Cat, you got any news about him for Storytime series?
It's still coming up soon. You can find that on Facebook. It's called Storytime. You'll know which one it is because it is lacking a profile picture. If you guys would like to input some art as an idea for Storytime, feel free just to hit me up on the Kitty page on Facebook. Also, if you have any ideas or any stories that you would like to share and put on the Storytime, feel free just to hit me up personally on Facebook. I'll read them over and make sure they're approved for putting up on Storytime, of course. But if you want to keep things confidential or if you want to keep things anonymous, feel free to let me know when you message me, and I will make sure that it's anonymous. But yeah, get on that shit.
Groovy, bitches. Alright, so now it's time to hop on into today's nerd news update. Alright, so over the last week, Gayle King has been declared persona non motherfucking grata within the black culture because of her interview with Lisa Leslie when they discussed Kobe Bryant. Now, I'm not going to play the interview because I'm not going to play the excerpt from the interview because it's more than 30 seconds long and I ain't trying to have CBS all on my dick and shit. However, the excerpt from the interview was of Gayle King asking Lisa Leslie about the alleged sexual assault declared against Kobe Bryant back in the day. And, first of all, it was kind of, it was weird that CBS decided to air just that part of the interview because according to a lot of people, just like, if you hear the interview if you hear that excerpt of the interview in context to the interview, it probably doesn't sound that bad. But the fact that CBS aired just that minute and 30-second clip where they were talking about the rape allegation when the man body wasn't even in the motherfucking ground yet. I mean, damn, bitch.
Kobe ain't even cold in the ground yet. Y'all already fucking up.
Right, bro.
I wish that R. Kelly would have slapped the fuck out of that bitch, huh?
Right, y'all should have just let that shit happen. He probably would have smacked her so hard, he would have made her one of his hoes, and she would have been goddamn holding it down while he was in jail. Put that gwat smack on her face.
Take her back to the Lord. Check it out for himself. Oh, man.
Right. And now, ever since the airing of the clip, social media, of course, has just been in an uproar over it. Even Gayle King herself got on Twitter and said, yeah, I mean, shit, that's pretty fucked up, because if I only saw that part of the interview, I would be mad at me too. And I'm sorry. You know, I feel what you're saying, because I totally get what it's like for somebody to take something you said or did completely out of the context. But at the same time, I don't have no sympathy for the reaction that you're getting, for the simple fact that you should not have asked her that question during that interview. I don't care how different it sounds within the context of the interview. I feel like CBS might have been trying to throw your ass up under the bus anyway, because you did that shit. And I really don't know. But what I do know is, ever since then, when social media became an uproar, there's actually, you know what I'm saying, a couple of celebrities that done weighed in on this shit. Like, LeBron James ain't feeling this shit. 50 Cent ain't feeling this shit. And when you know when 50 ain't feeling some shit, oh, you fixing to get clowned on the internet, bitch. 50 Cent ain't even been on Instagram in 3 months. He hopped back on the gram to shit on Gayle King for this bullshit. And lest we not forget Mr. Snoop Doggy Dogg, the dog father, calling her, and he asked for permission from the ladies of the community before he said it, but he sure declared her a funky dog head bitch. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I dropped my phone when he said that shit. It's one of them things that it wouldn't have even been that funny if somebody else had said it, but because it was Snoop and he was feeling that shit so hard when he said it, bruh, I came unglued. I couldn't hold myself together. Funky dog head bitch.
Now, see, I'm waiting on Plies to respond to this.
I've been waiting on Plies to like comment on a lot of this crazy shit that's going on in the world. I ain't even gonna lie.
I want to hear him talk about Nick Cannon.
I want to hear
on that Nick Cannon shit.
I want to hear Plies and DC Young Fly tag team roast Donald motherfucking Trump. That's the fuck I want to see on the internet.
Yes.
Like, I want DC Young Fly to do his whole video, and then I want Plies to take DC video, and I want him to laugh at everything DC said, and then add on a bunch of shit about this orange peel looking motherfucker. Like, I'm just, like, the world went crazy, bro. Like, I'm sorry, we might have to just, like, it's a Facebook group called World Went Crazy. I feel like right now, I'm gonna go ahead and send them a shout out just because, yeah, y'all was right. The world is in a shithole right now. It's a shit storm. It's crazy. The world's on fire. We got fucking coronavirus plague out this bitch. Like, family is just gone. Everybody's mad at Donald Trump, and the sad part is the rest of the American citizens are probably going to end up being the ones that have to take the heat for a lot of his bullshit. Like,
there's no doubt.
It's just too much.
No doubt.
Like, I don't even see, like, like, in the internet, they had no chill, bro. Like, it's been memes galore talking shit about Gayle King. And you know her homegirl is Oprah motherfucking Winfrey, right? So, of course, you know what I'm saying? She coming up on all this media fire. Of course, in this space game that is being a celebrity, it was time for her to throw down the big joker and bring on Oprah out to get to her defense. So, of course, Oprah's been on damage control, going on a bunch of different talk shows, being interviewed, and of course they asking her about Gayle King, and of course she telling everybody, oh, Gayle fucked up right now. She's scared. She getting death threat. I mean, you know, Oprah don't talk like that, but you know, the nigga inside of Oprah, this is what she's saying. That bitch scared, girl. Like, for real. That she getting death threats in the email and paper mail. She almost got smacked by R. Kelly the last time she got interviewed, and everybody shitting on her. Like, I'm sorry, bro, but you chose this life you living, bitch. You gotta deal with that shit.
I don't know. I think R. Kelly should have smacked that hoe, cause she talking crazy.
Talking that cash money shit, bro. Now, That's all on Gayle King. Next in today's Nerd News Update, T.I. gets criticized for having fellow rapper Fabulous on his podcast expeditiously. And he's coming under fire, well, A, because, you know, bitches love to talk shit about niggas that have hella bitches. I don't know what it is, but they're calling it toxic masculinity nowadays. And T.I. just been catching shitstorm after shitstorm for the things that's been going on in his podcast. One of the things he's been catching hell for lately is having Fabulous on there, the rapper Fabolous. And I didn't even notice, but because I'm old enough to have actually been a Fabulous, listening to Fabulous while he was in his prime in hip hop. And I also was there when Love and Hip Hop first started airing, and his baby mama Emily was one of the primary, one of the first females on the show to have her own little storyline and shit like that. So I'm familiar with it. But what I did not know was that he was accused of domestic violence against her last year. As a matter of fact, I've read online that this incident was documented on the show. I still haven't seen the episode or whatever, but apparently he knocked her teeth out or some shit like that, which I don't know how true that part is, but that is a part of the lore that's circling the virtual world right now.
That's probably as true as them saying that Chris Brown bit Rihanna on the face.
Right, like, first of all, you think this cokehead was gonna bite somebody and that shit not leave forever teeth marks? Fuck no.
That was before the coke, I'm sure.
Are you? Cause
the coke took over.
I don't know. I feel like maybe that was the day that it took over. Sounds like some shit you do. And you just full of cocaine. Beat the shit out of somebody while you driving a car.
Rihanna is from the islands. That big crazy already.
I ain't saying she ain't do shit to provoke him. I ain't saying that. She looked like she the type of female to say the kind of shit that she knows she shouldn't say because she knows she could get away with it because she fine and she's famous and big in the media. And plus, it's a guy versus girl. There's no way to polish that turd into making it look like it wasn't. Like, no matter what, that's part of being a man. No matter what a woman says, even if she deserves to get the fucking melanin smacked off of her skin, you're really not supposed to do it.
Fuck all this bullshit. Fuck society. If a bitch is coming up at you, talking out the side of her neck, putting her hands on you, you knock that hoe out.
No, because I'm not finna have no nigga telling me I got soft hands while I'm in jail because I gave this bitch what she deserved. Fuck that. If you ever want to leave a woman if you ever want to hurt a woman truly, just leave her ass. Like right in the moment. You just look at her, be like, I want to hit you right now, but you're not even worth it. And just walk away. Don't fold though after that, cause then you just some bitch ass nigga that like to give speeches. Like, nah, you gotta stop fucking with her all the way, cold turkey. That's the only way to hurt a woman emotionally that will compensate for like you not getting to smack the lights out of her. So
keep it in your pants, you fags.
Yeah, cause I mean,
how big that booty might be, how cute she may look when she mad, you just leave.
Yeah.
That meat ain't worth it.
Right. Not to mention, as long as you leave her unhit, she'll probably go off and do that same shit to her next nigga who will probably be a lot crazier. And he ain't gonna hold back. And then one day you could see on the news that he beat the shit out of her. And then you could have all 7 of your daily chuckles for the next year and a half. I promise you. Because, she didn't learn a lesson from you. So, yeah, she went on test the waters on somebody bigger and blacker. And, yeah, that's the fuck happens after that.
So why the blacker person got to be the one to hit women, huh?
Because we all know dark-skinned niggas don't give a fuck, bruh.
Fair enough.
Like, if a light-skinned nigga hits you, he's fucking crazy. But if a dark-skinned nigga hits you, it's because he dark-skinned.
If a light-skinned nigga hit me, then I'm beating that little bitch ass. We both got the same thing between our legs. What's up, bitch?
Right. Y'all both worried about getting hit in the face and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all got mutual shit to worry about in that case.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out why the fuck you got my bonnet on, bitch.
But yeah, all in all, because we so went on a tangent there. But all in all, T.I. came under fire for having Fabulous on the show because of that. And I mean, it's crazy that everybody be up in uproar about this shit, but it's like, yo, He went through a program and then the charges got dropped, and then not to mention, like, it got to the point where he did that after, like, because I can tell you, after the first 3 seasons of Love and Hip Hop, I don't think he was fucking with her that hard. I think she might have been mad enough to say some shit to the nigga to provoke him to do this shit. Not saying that, any reason is good enough. No reason is good enough to hit a woman, especially with a closed fist, okay? But, she might have just felt some type of way because he didn't give a fuck about her for like...
Wait, was M white?
She light-skinned as fuck, but no, she's not white, As far as the media is concerned, Fabulous has only been linked to black women. He might love white bitches. I don't know. Who fuck knows? But yeah, so... of course, but that shit was so long ago. And then not to mention, like, I'm sorry, but y'all ain't allowed to talk shit about rappers with these charges until y'all stop supporting athletes with them same fucking charges. Ain't nobody getting no credit with me until Ben Roethlisberger is forced to stop playing football. This nigga done raped like 4 or 5 bitches and shit. And then on top of that, like Aaron Hernandez, this nigga done killed people, and he done been declared crazy as fuck. And y'all bitches still talking about y'all will fuck him. Fuck all that. Like, don't.
And Michael Vick is at blame for fighting dogs.
Right. Atlanta could never get our fucking quarterback back because he made 2 bitches fight each other. Like, matter of fact, he wasn't even accused. Michael Vick wasn't even convicted or accused of actually dog fighting himself. That's the biggest misconstrued thing that's been in the media. Michael Vick was never accused of actually fighting dogs. He was accused of bankrolling the... Huh?
Was there proof?
Proof of what?
Proof that he specifically was the one fighting dogs.
I mean, it wasn't necessary. It wasn't...
He got 2 photos.
Kitty, it wasn't necessary to have proof. They never were charging him with dog fighting. That's never been what it was. That's literally what I was just saying. The media made y'all misconstrued the story to everybody. He was never convicted or charged with actually doing the dog fighting. He got charged for bankrolling the operation that was doing the dog fighting. So basically, he spent time in jail, lost his endorsements, and no longer was an Atlanta Falcon quarterback because he got accused and charged of allegedly giving someone money for the operation. But I mean, that's some vague ass bullshit, man. You could have gave a nigga, whatever the money he was supposed to get paid to be a part of your team. And if he took that money and used it to funnel it through dogfighting and made a profit off that shit, it made it look like you did. Like, basically, that's the same thing that happens to a lot of, not a lot, but the rappers that y'all be hearing of, they get caught up with a lot of drugs. Most of the time, that's not their drugs. A lot of times what really be happening is... Huh?
They're the fall guy for things.
Yeah. Like, perfect example. This shit that happened with, what's his name? The dude that just OD'd a couple of months ago. Juice WRLD. Huh?
Oh.
What you say?
Mac Miller?
I said a couple of months ago.
I don't remember when that nigga died. I only heard about him dying recently.
Oh, Mac Miller died over 2 years ago, bruh.
Hasn't been? Oh, goodness. Time is flying fast.
Yeah. But anyway, with Juice WRLD, they found all that dope on this plane or whatever. But here's the thing with these rappers. A lot of the times they getting fucked out of their contracts, right? So they're not getting the money they need to be receiving. A lot of times they only getting the back end or the front end of their show money. And so what they have to do is they usually they usually bankroll a drug operation. And because they're rich and famous, they have the fortune to be able to travel with a large entourage, and it doesn't look suspicious. Not to mention they always have tons and tons of bags and shit. So it's an easy and convenient way to hide a bunch of drugs and move it from city to city. That's the most convenient thing to do while you on tour, is actually move dope, because it leaves you unsuspecting, unless you're a racist racist cop that assumes that every rapper does that, then you just check every single rapper that comes into town, assuming that they probably did that shit. So,
you know, Hobson actually, like, one of his songs, Illmind of Hobson 8, kind of touched on something similar to, like, what was going on. And it's just, like, I feel like he made that song before things got to be as bad as the case with Juice WRLD and all the other people who got killed by the industry. He was saying how the way, like, his label owner, I guess, it plays 3 different roles when it comes down to him making music and shit. And he figured out that a lot of the money that he was making, he wasn't seeing. He would realize that, I can't remember what the guy's name was, but...
you talking about his former business partner?
Huh?
You talking about his former business partner? Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about because I actually went through that whole little thing when I discovered that. Like, I saw his interview, like I saw Hobson's 3 interviews about it. And then I saw the other guys like 2 or 3 interviews as well. And yeah, like that's really true because the problem with that is that bruh was having a conflict of interest because he was playing those 3 different roles in like he was the label head and he was Hobson's manager and he had
and the accountant.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? He was getting one check for being the head of the label and then he was getting another cut of Hobson's money by being his manager also, so that's a whole separate check, and he's really doing one job and getting paid 3 times for it.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, it's bad, bro. Like, you know, back in the day, it used to be even crazier because sometimes your manager would be your label exec. They'd also be like the manager of like your 3 companies that you might start with your money. And then on top of that, a lot of the times when if the artists weren't paying attention, those same motherfuckers would put themselves as writers and producers and shit like that to get even more album points. So when the album sold, they getting cash from shit they ain't even do. Like, they ain't wrote a fucking song. Like, big example of that is, you ever heard the song Why Do Fools Fall in Love by Frankie Lyman?
I don't think I have.
Oh, well, Frankie Lyman was this huge fucking singer star back in the 50s in the doo-wop days and shit. And he actually came out with this group. It was Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. And they had this really big hit song, Why Do Fools Fall in Love? Well, once they got signed, you know what I'm saying? I think this was actually the beginning of when they started doing this shit. Because if you notice, a lot of times in early hip-hop culture and in a lot of pop culture, this is always what happens. But they always start out as a group, right? And then the lead singer ends up going solo. But what people don't be knowing is the label be putting a lot of pressure on these guys to go solo like this because it's easier to control one person. So what they did was they signed Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. Then they forced him to drop the Teenagers to become a solo act just as Frankie Lyman. And they re-released Why Do Fools Fall in Love as a song just by Frankie Lyman. But in the liner notes, the nigga that owned the record label wrote himself in as a writer. So now it looks like him and Frankie Lyman wrote the song, and they completely removed the Teenagers as writers, so they never got they just due for the money from that song. And now, you know what I'm saying, that shit still happens. Like, sometimes these motherfuckers be written in as writers, or they'll get like a production credit even though they never fucking stepped foot in the studio, or if they did, you know what I'm saying, they provided very little as far as the actual crafting of the music that went into the songs and albums and shit. So it's fucked up, man. The game is fucked up. That's why.
Let me show you how unforgettable I am in your life. I'm gonna just, like, when you get famous, this is how you not gonna forget me. Put me as a writer and just don't put your name.
Oh yeah, bruh. Just like a fucking baby mama on your ass.
Even DJ Khaled on everything, even though he doesn't rap.
Right. Or how Diddy used to get a performance and a writer credit on every one of his artist songs, because he literally just get on that bitch and be like, take that. Like, nigga, you wrote the words "take that" 30 years ago, and you just been saying that shit on everything ever since. That should not count. But I mean, hey, matter of fact, this ain't on the docket for the Nerd News Update, but you just got me to remembering how last week I didn't have time to cover this shit. But you know the rapper Mace, right?
No.
You don't remember Mace from Okay, so Mace was a huge fucking rapper in the early 90s, right? He was one of the first artists Diddy signed and made big after Biggie died, right? Like Mace is basically the reason Bad Boy the label stayed afloat. Like he was dropping hit after hit. He was the nigga that was in, that he was in the videos with shiny suits and shit back in the day. Like that was Mace. Alright? And Mace was definitely without question a top tier rapper, right? However, recently, Diddy has said that he's turning over a new leaf and he wants to give artists fair deals nowadays, and he wants to, change the image that he has for being a shark in the industry. So when he said that, Mace took to Instagram and said, well, shit, since that's what you want right now, I feel like you should do some compensating for me. Like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate you pulling me out the hood and making me a huge star, and you took me to places that I would never see. But for the decade that I held you down, and I actually goddamn did time for you and shit. Oh no, wait, that was Shine. He didn't say that. He was like, I actually defended you when people attacked you in the public. I was your partner. I was your ace. I was everything that you needed me to be for 20 fucking bands over the span of 10 years. And not only that, but I actually grinded it out and saved up my own $2 million just so I could buy my publishing back from you, which you basically, swindled me out of because you knew I didn't know enough about the industry to get my worth. I tried to buy my publishing back for you for $2 million, and you said basically fuck no. So you didn't even want to let me buy my own fucking freedom, my nigga. Like, damn. And that's Diddy for your ass. That's the game though, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't blame rappers these days for being greedy and trying to get everything they can, because the industry has not favored the artists in the last 50 motherfucking years, man. It hasn't.
To be honest with you, what industry caters to the people who desires it?
I mean, it ain't even about desire. It's about deservance. You know what I mean? Like, the artist is the front man for all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Whenever something happens with their music or the label, like all the shit that the people behind the scenes try to take credit for, the artist is the one that take the hit. Here's an example of that. A couple of years ago, when All the Way Turned Up was first getting a buzz, you know what I'm saying, the Roscoe Dash song featured Travis Porter, or originally featured Travis Porter and a rapper that was his cousin by the name of YT. And keep in mind, it originally came out on Travis...
That YT.
Right, bitch, I'm in the building. That nigga, yes. So out of all the motherfuckers I just named, y'all, that's the motherfucker she knew about. All right. So... So what the deal was with that song was that it came out originally on Travis Porter's mixtape, and because it was on their mixtape, literally just because of the way that the mixtape insert cover or back cover got printed, it said featuring ATL and YT. And the reason it said that was because Roscoe Dash's original rap name was ATL. I know, generic than a motherfucker. Right. So when that came out, a lot of people thought it was Travis Porter's song, and Travis Porter was like, oh nah, like they never took credit for that. They was like, it's Roscoe's song, well, it's ATL's song. And then what happened was, ATL got all, in his feelings about it, and he changed his name to Roscoe Dash, and then he dropped his own mixtape. Well, he dropped another song, right? And then this whole controversy started coming out about All the Way Turned Up, because after he dropped his songs, he started getting a little buzz, and then when he dropped his mixtape, everybody was tripping off the fact that the version of the song on his mixtape was with first of all, they remade the beat. Originally the beat was made by a producer by the name of Vibe, but when he re-released the song, a hotter producer at the time by the name of K on the track reproduced the new version of the beat, and also he put Soulja Boy on the song. Now, with all of that happening, oh yeah, and he also took his cousin off the song and Travis Porter off the song. So now this new version comes out, and all the media outlets, when this shit first came out, it all read Soulja Boy stole Travis Porter's song. That was the headline. There was no mention of how Atlantic and you know what I'm saying, Roscoe's people collaborated and decided that they wanted to go in a new direction. It wasn't no, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't no ATL or Roscoe Dash took them off the song. It said Soulja Boy stole the song. Why? Because Soulja Boy was the biggest name attached to this song. And he was the one that took all of the fucking heat for that shit when the story first broke, and it took like a whole month before the story really got broken down. And even then, Travis Porter had to put up a YouTube video defending themselves, like, look, bro, we never stole credit for your song. As a matter of fact, and this is when all the truth started coming out. They was like, bro, we brought you to all our shows. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't like charging you or nothing like that. We brought you to all our shows to perform your song. We the one help you build your name so that when you changed your name to Roscoe Dash, somebody actually gave a fuck. And then on top of that, we cool with you taking us off the song. Nigga, we got hits. Cause at this point, you know what I'm saying, they already had like 4 or 5 mixtapes out. You know what I'm saying? They had become, you know what I'm saying, the indie powerhouse that was Travis Porter by this point. So it wasn't like they needed the heat from that song. As a matter of fact, the reason the song blew up as much as it did is because so many people thought it was their song, even though they never was trying to claim credit for it. He was in his feelings about that shit, and then he did all of that what he did. But all in all, I said that to say, like, that's why, you know what I'm saying, the artist should be. It's not about desire. It's about deservance. You know what I'm saying? A motherfucker need to be compensated for the fact that me being the biggest name on this song made me look like the bad guy for like a whole month and a half before the whole truth of this story came out of shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't really... I feel like artists should be, especially since, like I said, the last half a fucking century, the artists have classically gotten shitted on and screwed out of their contracts from what, you know what I'm saying? Because if you didn't feel, like if you truly felt like this is what the artists deserve, y'all wouldn't prey on young artists and broke artists to try to get them to agree to shit that you already know ain't gonna be beneficial to them later. Of course, all these motherfuckers get strung out on dope and alcohol and be depressed and shit. Like, they got all their dreams coming true, but the price of it was that everybody else around them was the ones that benefited from the shit. So,
but see, it's also with the media, like, so much is like what the media is, because, like, of course, a lot of artists' career is based off of how far they go media-wise and how society deems them and whatnot. But it's also like, you know, if it's a certain image that they're looking for from each specific person, kind of like how the way Snoop Dogg, for example,
funky dog head bitch.
Huh?
Oh, I was saying that shit he said earlier about Gayle King, that funky dog head bitch.
Yeah, more he done Gayle a funky dog head bitch. Let's say with him, let's say that before his fame, he was one of those type of people that was like strictly against smoking, who did no drugs in his life, who was like, let's say, a straight A kid that just liked to make music on the side. Let's say that the media was like, all right, see, with the image that we have for you, this is exactly what we want to do for you. If you play our role right, this is what you get.
I mean,
like once the people, like new upcoming artists, see how it is when it gets in there, and they finally get in there, like because they're forced, like to say, do drugs or something, they end up getting a little bit too carried away, because when depression set in and like you smoke weed is it's not an antidepressant, it's a depressant. It causes you to be more depressed. So when you stop smoking, you start feeling like extra shitty after you smoke, because that's what weed does. If you have pre-existing depression. Now, that might drive a lot of artists just to like kill themselves because of the depression being so bad from withdrawal. Or like you end up like Whitney Houston, somebody who had a beautiful singing voice, end up being like trashed by drugs and shit, and then next thing you know, when she did die, they said that they found cocaine in her system. Who's to say that she didn't get fucked up in the industry and forced to like take cocaine after being clean?
Yeah, I mean, that actually does happen, Kitty. Like,
she died for
That shit does happen. Like in Snoop case, he really did smoke weed like that before, you know what I'm saying, he got on. But you'd be surprised how many of these artists, like a lot of the times, that's what they do. That's what the industry does to control you and your image, is to make you do something that's the total opposite of what you really represent, just so they can make sure that they're in control from the jump. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of, like, you be, like, most of the females that, like, show a lot of body, like, Cardi ain't a good example, because she, of course, was a stripper and rumored escort before. So, you know, her showing her titties ain't that big of a deal, but that's actually kind of a reason, like, that's actually a perfect example of what I mean. Like, it's harder for them to control somebody like Cardi, because she's really like that. But for somebody who isn't like that, that's trying to...
That's fair. That's fair to say, because, like, you know, when it comes down to somebody who's, like, already off the rip down for whatever the fuck and know how the game is, it's kind of harder just to control them unless you hit them where it hurts. Like, if they end up falling in love, they're going to be...
Which is... I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that, because that's exactly why they made sure that shit happened, bro. They probably heard her say some shit like, if I was to mess with any rapper, it would be Offset or not Offset. Yeah, Offset. And they heard her say that shit. They were like, oh, fuck. We could probably make that happen. And now that's how they control Cardi is. And they made sure they probably, like, it sounds crazy, but they probably, like, made sure to coached her through, make her getting pregnant, and made it sound like a good idea to both of them. Because I'm telling you, they need some level mechanism by which to control you. That's why they love rappers with drug and pistol charges. Because if you got those on your record, all they gotta do is throw a dirty pistol in your car. If you don't act right or do what they say, then you go to jail for a couple of months because you're a registered felon and you're not supposed to be around guns. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that, bro.
Either that, or like you might be somebody that's like, you know, trying not to get their hands dirty, but you got a whole thing, a whole operation that's running underneath you, but then like you end up getting people that's underneath you getting greedy. That's how you end up getting fucked up in the long run, because you don't know what the fuck your underlings is doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And next thing you know, you hear a big ass charge like, let's say Jay-Z charged with sex trafficking.
Yeah, because you rich enough to be like, oh fuck, he can hide tons of bitches in houses across the world. Hell yeah. Like, and then what's even crazier is, if you're not on that type shit, that's why they want you to rap about that shit. I mean, there's also another reason that got something to do with like the prison industrial complex and shit. We're not gonna get into that in this episode because that's too much shit. We might have to put that on a whole other thing. But all in all, like, if you don't do that type of shit, they want you to rap about that kind of shit because that's the image you built. So let's just say you're a rapper that has a completely clean, squeaky clean record. Well, they don't want you to rap about the kind of motherfucker you really are. Like, if I was to become a rapper, the first thing I would rap about is like nerd shit all the fucking time. But they ain't gonna want me to rap about that. They gonna want me to rap about selling dope, pimping hoes, toting pistols and shit, getting fucked up off of all kind of designer drugs. Why? Because that way, whenever I don't do what the fuck they want me to do, well, now I've been rapping about all this shit for like 4 years now. If some shit comes up in the news,
affiliation charge.
Huh?
It's nothing to drop an affiliation charge.
Affiliation charge? What's that?
That's what I call it. Like when you end up going down for something that you sing about or like supposedly affiliated with, as far as like what your public energy.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they be on, because it's just like it, like, and that's why they don't care about, like, if you're a rapper that actually has done that shit and you got a record, they don't mind you rapping about, you know, love and all of that shit, because as long as that shit sell, it's straight, and they still got their control mechanism on you because that shit is actually on your record. But now when they get you to, if you have a clean rap record and you've been rapping about all this other shit for all these years, bro, they could literally put like 40 keys in your tour bus, you not even fucking realize it, and they call the police to tip them off on your next tour stop. You pulled over, they find all the bullshit, and now even though you had a clean record, the fact that your public images of this person, now it just looks like, oh fuck, he was telling the truth, this is the kind of motherfucker he really is, let's lock him up. Control. As long as they got a level of control over you, they'll let you do it. Make it seem like you could do whatever you want to, but at the end of the day, they could press that motherfucking button on your ass at any motherfucking moment. Shit.
I feel like they have a lot of people by the balls just like that.
Hell yeah, they definitely do, bruh. That's why a lot of these artists, they can't really talk about the shit that be really going on because they already got a line on them, bruh. Like, a lot of people don't know fucking, like, some of these celebrities that be like singing, rapping, and you know, they whole image is in the public is the single life. They be like having whole husbands and whole wives and shit, and be married and have a whole family in a house that's, you know, being taken care of by these motherfuckers. But you don't hear that shit because, you know what I'm saying, that's the control. As long as we got you out here, huh?
Or even like you'll hear a whole lot of rappers rapping about, I'm in the Illuminati throwing triangles and shit, but like they have zero affiliation with the Illuminati.
Who the fuck said that?
Oh, you have not seen any of Beyonce's music videos like before Lemonade. Like, I remember one.
Nah, I mean, who's actually claiming to be in the Illuminati? Not just throwing up symbols and trying to allude to
Chris
it.
Brown.
Chris Brown actually said he's in the Illuminati?
He said it in an interview that was like a few years ago. He said that he was in, and plus he had made a song basically alluding to the fact that he joined the Illuminati and he's trying to get out. Black Diamond, that whole thing behind Black Diamond is other hints, something to do with Illuminati as well.
I mean, yeah, I was seeing all the hints. I ain't talking about hints. I was asking you, did you hear explicitly someone say, I am a member of the Illuminati? Because I can guarantee you that motherfucker ain't. Like, a motherfucker who say that shit, they ain't. They trying to get that clout.
No, that's what I was saying, like, before. Like, you'll hear, like, a lot of artists that, like, say that they're part of the Illuminati but have no affiliation. Like, Chris Brown, he put out this image trying to make it more believable that he was a part of Illuminati. But it's just like, you know, I don't think that's the case, you know. Like, a lot of people can really look at him and tell, like, Chris Brown? No.
Shit, I don't believe in that. I don't believe you can look. I'm not the type of person that believes you can look at anybody and tell anything just by looking at them. I don't believe that shit at all. Most of the most thugged out fucking cold blood killers I know, they go to college, keep straight A GPAs, have a fucking girlfriend that they about to make a wife. Like, and it's the motherfuckers who, like, you know, you would think got all that going on. That be the motherfucker that look like he do all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but see, I also was raised by someone who was an entertainer and at one point was trying to get into the industry, and then they realized what the fuck was really going on. They decided to not go forward with that shit. So my eyes been open to a lot of shit for a lot of years. You know what I mean? But
wait, who in your family is an entertainer? Because I know your mama not Boo Boo the Food.
My dad.
Oh, he's Boo Boo the Food?
I don't understand why you would say that. I literally just said they wanted to be an entertainer, and then once they realized what was really going on, they decided not to do that shit. How does that make him Boo Boo the Fool?
Oh, you don't get the joke?
Nah.
Boo.
Can you explain it?
No, you know, like, growing up, how your mom be like, I'm not Boo Boo the Fool, and Boo Boo the Fool is, like, some clown-ass. You know, clowns are like entertainers.
Oh, yeah, bruh, you, like, that's so, like, that was so far left of a punchline, like, I didn't connect that shit at all, but, I mean, I guess so, but most people, like, culturally associate Boo Boo the Fool with being an idiot, so I really kind of took offense to that shit when you said it just now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like, when a motherfucker say what I look like Boo Boo the Fool, they ain't saying do I look like a clown. They saying do I look fucking stupid to you. And let me tell you, neither one of my parents was stupid.
Clowns are fucking stupid.
Nah, they actually really fucking smart, bruh.
Yeah, but if you have a clown anywhere near you, don't let me near, because I don't do clowns. There you have it, folks. Kitty does not like clowns. I'm not scared of them. I just don't fuck with them.
And my birthday is during National Clown Week, so I don't know what to tell you. But yeah.
Shit, if you put on a big red nose and some big ass shoes, don't think you're not gonna get cut.
But moving on to the next story in today's Nerd News Update, because we went off on a huge fucking tangent on that. So Jussie Smollett is in the news again, making headlines because he has been indicted on 6 motherfucking counts. 6. Shit. But according to FoxNews.com, Jussie Smollett has been indicted on 6 counts for allegedly lying to police about his attack claims. And this is in Chicago. Jussie, I've been calling this nigga Jussie Smollett for the last, I don't know how long. I didn't know this was his real name.
I've been calling him Jussie Smollett since I seen the Dave Chappelle special.
Right, and then when I heard that, I thought he was just making fun of his name, but that's how you say this shit.
For real?
Yeah, Jussie Smollett, yeah. He's been indicted.
Okay.
He's been indicted by a grand jury on 6 counts of disorderly conduct for allegedly lying to police about his claims of a racist and homophobic attack against him on January of 2019. Oh, damn, so this is a whole last year ago now. A special prosecutor said on Tuesday. Special Prosecutor Dan Webb issued a statement announcing the indictment against the 37-year-old former Empire star. The actor is due in court on February 24th. Fox 32 reported, citing a source, Jussie Smollett sued City of Chicago for malicious prosecution. Smollett's, whatever the fuck, attorney, Tina Gladian, said in a statement on Tuesday, this indictment raises serious questions about the integrity of the investigation that led to the renewed charges against Mr. Smollett. None of the least of which the use of the same Chicago Police Department detectives who were part of the original investigation into the attack on Mr. Smollett to conduct the current investigation despite Mr. Smollett's pending civil claims against the city of Chicago and Chicago Police Department officers for malicious prosecution. That was a fucking tongue twister. And one of the 2 witnesses who testified before the grand jury is the same detective Mr. Smollett is currently suing for his role in the initial prosecution of him. The statement continued after more than 5 months of investigation. The office of the special prosecutor has not found any evidence of wrongdoing whatsoever related to the dismissal of the charges against Mr. Smollett. Rather, the charges were appropriately dismissed the first time because they were not supported by the evidence. The attempt to re-prosecute Mr. Smollett 1 year later on the eve of the Cook County State's Attorney election is clearly all about politics and not justice. Smollett, who is black and gay, originally was charged last year. The fact that they mentioned that shit. Like, it's just so random. Like, that's how they started.
Actor.
And he's black. He's a faggot. Like, this Chicago, so you know how they go, he's a faggot. However, he was originally charged last year with disorderly conduct for allegedly staging the attack and lying about it to investigators. The charges were dropped in March 2019 with little explanation, angering police officials and then Mayor Rahm Emanuel. Cook County Judge Michael Tooman in August appointed Webb, a former U.S. attorney, as a special prosecutor to look into why the charges were dropped. Webb was also charged with looking into whether Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx's call with a Smollett relative and ex-aide of former First Lady Michelle Obama unduly influenced the decision to drop charges. Fox recused herself from the case but continued to weigh in. On Tuesday, Fox's campaign for re-election said in a statement, the Cook County State Attorney's Office charged Jussie Smollett with multiple counts, and today the special prosecutor did the same. What's questionable here is the James Comey-like timing of the charging decision. Just 35 days before an election, which can only be interpreted as the further politicization of the justice system, something voters in the era of Donald Trump should consider offensive. In January 2019, Smollett told police he was attacked by 2 masked men as he walked home from a Chicago Subway sandwich shop. Yo, Subway cannot catch a break, bruh. First, they goddamn spokesperson been billed as a pedophile and they been helped hiding the shit. Now,
Jared.
Right, fucking Jared. And now, fucking Smollett getting his ass whooped coming to get a sandwich from him 2 o'clock in the morning. What the fuck is Subway? Oh yeah, Chicago. I guess shit be open way later there.
Shit. What Subway you know is open at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning, bruh?
I was about to say that, but then I was like, well, it's Chicago. Shit's probably open later there.
Bruh. 2 a.m.
I mean, yeah, because a lot of the places that's down here, the lot of the places that's down here in Atlanta, Georgia, they close at like 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock and shit. They don't close that early in other places. Like, restaurants determine what time they close by how much traffic they getting. That's why like Wendy's and shit stays open so late, because they still get a lot of customers that late at night. But somewhere like a Chick-fil-A or a Zaxby's, they're not getting that kind of traffic that late at night. So it's not really profitable for them to stay that late.
On Sundays.
Huh?
Chick-fil-A closes on Sundays.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, so yeah, but it's Chicago. I'd imagine just like in New York, a lot of shit is open a lot later because they nightlife is a lot more bustling. There's actually a whole sustainable economy that comes with the nightlife in those places. So, because I was literally just thinking the same thing, like the fuck they doing open at 2 o'clock, but then when I thought about the fact that it's Chicago, that makes a lot more sense. The actor alleged that the masked man taunted him with homophobic and racial slurs, beat him and looped the noose around his neck before fleeing. He said his attackers, at least one of whom he said was white, told him there was a MAGA country hat, which Make America Great Again, a reference to President Trump's campaign slogan, Make America Great Again. And in February 2019, police determined that Smollett's masked attackers were brothers Abel and Ola Osadero, who trained Smollett and worked out with him on Empire. Nigga, how you gonna throw them under the bus?
Also, wasn't they the blackest motherfuckers you can find?
They were some of the darkest motherfuckers that was probably on the set of Empire altogether, bro. And they was African, so whatever shade of black they was counted twice. And they was brothers, so straight up. But yeah, investigators identified the brothers as those on surveillance video buying the rope that reportedly was hung around the actor's neck during the alleged attack. After an intense investigation, police said they determined that Smollett staged the entire episode with the help of the two brothers, whom he paid to take part in the hoax assault, in an elaborate effort to drum up publicity for his middling career. Which I don't see how he had one. Empire has been like one of the biggest shows the entire time it's been on the air. After prosecutors dropped the case in March, Smollett maintained his innocence but agreed to let officials keep a $10,000 bail. He was then charged with filing false police reports, but Fox's office dropped the charges a week later. In a statement on Tuesday, the Osadero brothers' attorney Gloria Schmidt Rodriguez said the Osadero brothers are aware of the new charge brought against Smollett today by the grand jury. As stated before, they are fully committed to the public knowing the truth about what occurred on January 29, 2019. The Osadero brothers will continue to cooperate with the process, and they thank the Special Prosecutor's Office for their tireless work in seeing that justice was administered. I'm sorry, but it's some buffoonery. Like, this is some crazy shit, bro. Also, Tuesday, Kathy...
Niggas be tripping.
He ain't light-skinned, though.
Just a smooth, yeah?
Yeah, he ain't light-skinned. He brown.
He can pass for light skin. That motherfucker still tripping.
Alright. Also, Tuesday, Kathy Feiwager, the Director of Public Affairs for the City of Chicago Department of Law, said in a statement, "We look forward to reviewing the indictment, and as we have said previously, the city stands by the original complaint seeking to recover costs for Mr. Smollett's false statements. We again thank the Chicago Police Department detectives for their hard work on the original investigation. The city has sued Smollett seeking reimbursement exceeding $130,000 for overtime paid to officers who were involved in investigating Smollett's report." Smollett's attorney have said that the city should not be allowed to recover costs from Smollett because he accepted a $10,000 bail from the actor as payment in full connection with the dismissal of the charges against him. So basically, y'all saying this nigga legally bribed y'all, so y'all can't get no money? That's crazy. I didn't even know the justice system works like that.
But at the same time, I don't expect anything good from the justice system.
Yeah, I'm not fucking surprised at all. Like, not even a little bit, bruh. Like, real talk, I feel like they wanted more money, but, you know, shit went, like, they weren't giving it to him, so they was like, fuck it, we're gonna throw this new shit back on his ass and see how the fuck that goes.
Either way it goes, bruh. How is it that you get beat up by some fucking dark-skinned niggas that you paid off and then said that they were white and expect for that shit not to come to life?
Oh, for real, bruh.
Get money. That's a horrible get money quick scheme. You should try again.
Hell yeah. Well, not to mention, it wasn't even a get money quick scheme. He was trying to... Oh, wait, you talking about the police?
I'm talking about the Juliet situation altogether.
It wasn't supposed to be like a get money quick scheme. It was supposed to be supposedly trying to drum up publicity for his for what they say was a waning career. But like I said, bruh, Empire is one of the biggest shows in the last decade. Like, real talk, they broke all kind of fucking viewership records that Fox had and shit. Like, I don't see, like, that's the part that confused me. It wasn't even everything else. It was the fact that they said he was doing it because his career was falling off. And I'm like, when was that shit falling off? You know what I mean?
I mean, I never really cared about Empire as a show. I felt like I could do better without watching that. My favorite show on TV was Sleepy Hollow. It was the show that came on before Empire. Changed the channel quick as shit whenever it came on. Because I felt, like, as soon as I saw the advertisements for it, I always felt like, this show is overhyped. I bet it's going to be overhyped. And lo and behold, it was.
Wait, Empire?
Yeah.
Dude, I loved Empire. I was like mad as fuck when I couldn't afford cable no more, so I wasn't being able to catch every episode every week. I love, but that's...
I was glad to not watch Empire. It already had too much shit. Like, too many people were talking about it. I don't really like to watch shows where it gets too much hype, because it could easily be like the wrong kind of hype. It could be like little things about whatever show it is that just like be so off. Like, for example, with Empire, who's to say that the audio isn't off the entire time? People are just so caught up in the song and dance and pretty niggas doing pretty nigga shit.
Well, I mean, Timbaland did the sound, bro, so that shit was never flawed, bro. Timbaland put it down on Empire. Like, every time I heard a song on there, I was like, yo, this shit, like, and the best part is, Empire is like a slick musical, but they did a really good job of, like, disguising that, because I fucking hate musicals and shit, but, however, I do love hip-hop.
I hate musicals as well. I guess that's why I never really tuned in and nerded out to it.
Nah, she said it! But yeah, I guess maybe that's what had my interest, because, you know, I'm a big, huge music nerd. I love, you know, shows like that, like this. That, like, I like behind the scenes shows, but they are like scripted. I don't like, because to me, a lot of reality shows are like just lazy ass. Don't nobody feel like writing or being good actors and shit. Like, I like a well written, well acted show, and the fact that, you know, it's kind of like, oh shit, this is how, you know what I'm saying, people's lives be in the game. Like, that's interesting. But, like, you know, you gotta be kind of into that kind of shit. Like, I'm sure if they had, like, whatever, like, the Empire version of some family who was, like, really big into anime, I would probably really like that shit, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody's a voice actor, somebody's a writer, and then they're like, fucking a bunch of Japanese bitches because they gotta go over there, you know what I'm saying, for they, like, audio and, like, to finalize the animation. I would love a fucking Empire version of people who do anime. I feel like that's a lot. There'd be a lot of fucking going on, because nerds like to get it in, bruh. Real talk.
I don't know watch an anime version of Empire.
Nah, I didn't.
That's thinking that I might.
Nah, I didn't say an anime version. What I'm saying is like, if there was a show like a regular not cartoon show that had like people in it that was scripted about life behind the scenes of people who do anime.
No, I was thinking about like an anime version of Empire.
Right, but I mean, I wouldn't watch that. That wouldn't be as entertaining to me. We talking about like a cartoon anime version?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about that at all, but that wouldn't interest me either.
No, I know. I was just thinking about it, sorry.
Oh, it made it seem like you thought that's what I was saying.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
But no, yeah, like I do personally too enjoy like behind the scenes and like little like bloopers and shit of like a lot of different shows. I feel like that's what I do in my pastime a lot of the times, is just like see how a lot of my favorite shows got made and see like the different like fan art behind it. You know, have you ever seen like the fan fic version of like your favorite shows?
Oh yeah, I love fan fiction. I love fan fiction.
And I feel like a lot of our fan base cover a lot of people who enjoy fan fiction, and probably first since they're creepy enough.
Hell yeah.
And I feel like I would definitely love to see like a fanfic version of like a certain popular shows. Like hopefully I could like certain shows or movies a lot better than like from how they're pitched to me.
Hell yeah. But shit,
like
moving.
I recently watched this one movie called Disaster Movie, and Kim Kardashian is in it, and she cannot act.
Well, yeah. But shit, moving on to the next subject, next topic of today's Nerd News Update. According to TheVerge.com, the Samsung Galaxy 7 Flip is like making a lot of headlines. You know what I'm saying? Like it's Samsung's second folding glass phone. And ever since they came out with this foldable glass technology, I ain't gonna lie, I've been excited about cell phones in a way I never have been. Like even the Moto Razr now has a folding fucking glass like type deal going on. So I'm excited about this new term. But according to TheVerge.com, Samsung just unveiled the Galaxy 7 Flip, which is its second folding phone. This phone's big improvement over foldables to date is the use of a glass screen, and it definitely feels a whole lot nicer. It feels like glass, and it can be easily marked up by a fingernail it can't be easily marked up by a fingernail like the plastic screens used to date. I tried my darndest to see the crease in the hands-on area. While I could see it, it wasn't easy. Of course, we were in a somewhat controlled and completely chaotic and crowded situation, so don't hold me to that long term. The phone has a strong hinge, and that comes with some ups and downs. On the upside, it can fold itself open in any position. It opens smoothly, doesn't creak, and it feels pretty good overall. On the downside, the phone is harder to open. It doesn't flip open like a classic clamshell phone. Opening it with a single hand takes a lot of work, so you'll probably be using two most of the time. I really can't emphasize enough how different the Z Flip feels from the Galaxy Fold and the Motorola Razr. It's very much more refined, with no creaking, a more solid feeling hinge, and just a smoother action throughout. Not 100% sold on having the hinge provide so much resistance, but I do think Samsung has figured out some of its folding problems out. It's a shame the first introductions to folding phones were so compromised, because this seems real promising. Promising, but that doesn't mean good. The original Galaxy Fold and even the Motorola Razr seemed pretty good in their initial hands. The original Galaxy Fold and even the Motorola Razr seemed pretty good in their initial hands-on, only to disappoint in actual use. Spoiler for many people who want the Razr, by the way. So don't consider this as an endorsement at all. And the fact that Samsung is throwing this thing out into the market on Valentine's Day without pre-orders or reporter previews could be seen as a bad sign. However, these pictures look cool as fuck. Like, I can't wait to get my hands on one of these bitches. A lot of other drawbacks to early foldables have been improved here also. The gap around the hinge is still there, but smaller. The inside bezel looks smaller too. and the crease where the screen folds is barely visible. Though you can still feel it, it's way better than what you'll find on Motorola's Razr, which has a plastic screen. Damn, I feel like they kind of slick shitting on the Razr, but I'm kind of glad they did because I was already ready to spend money on that shit. The tiny front-facing screen is absolutely adorable. If you double press the power button, which doubles as a fingerprint sensor, you can launch the selfie camera and see for yourself. More practically, it can be used to show the time and some notifications. Samsung says when you tap on notifications on the tiny screen, it opens up in the app when you open the phone, but that doesn't work for the demo floor. Samsung's reasoning for making the hand so stiff is that you can set the phone down at an angle and do split screen shit. Oh, that's clean as fuck. I like that right there. I think this is of dubious usefulness, which I have not Googled the word dubious yet, but I'm gonna assume she's saying it seems like it's gonna put a lot of work on the software. And then she said we'll see if the software supports it. She was able to test it with Google Duo video chatting and with YouTube on at the same time. On Duo it made a ton of sense, but on YouTube the function was letting me look at the comments, which okay. The Z Flip is Samsung's first shot at getting a foldable right after the messy launch of last year's Galaxy Fold. The Z Flip has a few key differences. It folds open and closed like a classic clamshell phone rather than a book, which is common amongst a lot of newer smart devices. It uses a bendable ultra-thin glass display instead of the weak plastic on the fold. And it has fibers built into the hinge to prevent dust from getting in and damaging the display, which is what broke early units of the Fold. Samsung says the new glass will last for 200,000 folds. Bitch, what? That's it? Damn. I know like 200,000 is a lot, but bitch, that shit better last until my next phone. The Z Flip has a 6.7... Right, in 2 years, exactly. The Z Flip has a 6.7-inch OLED display with a tall 12.9 to 9 aspect ratio, as well as a tiny 1.1-inch LOED cover display to see the notifications when the phone is closed. Inside is a Snapdragon 855 Plus, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage, and a 3,300, I think that's a megahertz, dual battery. There are 2 megapixel cameras on the back, a regular wide angle and an ultra wide angle. On the inside is a 10 megapixel selfie camera that cut out in the top of the display. The Z Flip supports wireless charging and runs a customized version of Android 10. Notably, the phone does not support 5G. Bitch, what? How not? Y'all know fucking Verizon gonna want this shit to have 4G on that shit, bruh.
I'm not surprised given the fact that phone is already, based off the statistics, is pretty shitty enough. Like with the Samsung Fold, I wasn't expecting for people just to actually go out and buy that shit. Like, yeah, it's a cool looking phone, but at the end of the day, like if you really consider like your everyday activities, will these type of phones really fit in with you? Because if you get a flip phone, especially when it looks like that, we're gonna go back to our natural roots and start clam slapping that shit. Like the fuck you said to me? Click, bitch.
I mean, I don't know, bro, because like the dollar amount I pay for my phone definitely determines the kind of shit I do with it, bro. Like, if I got a fucking phone that costs $12 and I get mad to throw it, I'm not that mad that I'm about to shatter that shit on the wall. However, if I drop $800 to a band for my phone, oh no, nigga, I'm treating my phone like a delicate princess. Fuck the bullshit. I will fucking yell at whoever I'm talking to louder before I fucking do anything hurtful to that phone.
Fair enough, but also if you really consider it, like if you're really about to pay $800 and for that phone, you would want for it just to be able just to support strenuous activity. You know, that should be like it's making up its worth. It shouldn't be something fragile. It shouldn't be something delicate.
I don't think it is. I think they're using Gorilla Glass on it.
It's a technological upgrade. I I would expect for my phone just to be able for me just to drop it on its face and for it to not shatter.
Well, in all honesty, having a touchscreen phone that closes, you're a lot less likely to shatter your screen, because most of the time when you drop your phone, it's in its resting position. So if you drop a phone that's got a touch screen, but it folds so that the touch screen part is protected, the outside of the phone is more likely to crack than the inside of the phone.
But I've seen a few drop tests when it came down to that Samsung Galaxy Fold. Let's just pinpoint the Fold alone. And a lot of the times that phone ended up flipping open and basically breaking like that. Like, even though it takes about 2 hands in order for you just to open it, who's to say that type of impact won't be stronger than just a single 2-hand grab?
Well, yeah, but literally like 3 paragraphs ago, she just said the Z Flip improves on the Galaxy Fold doing that.
Hey, I haven't done research on this. I haven't seen this is actually my first time hearing about this phone, but just based off the little initial assessments that I'm hearing about, I would like to see more from this phone, what type of glass it uses. Like, if it still sticks with the same plexiglass that they use for most phones, then I'm gonna already be kind of boo. Or do it have an acrylic body that could easily be cracked? That's a lot of the things that I tend to worry about when it comes down to my phone. Because my personal phone, I have 4 cracks in it now. I just recently cracked my phone screen again. And I've had this phone for about 2 years. So given the fact that my phone is still relatively clean looking after years of use and only recently cracking it, I'll rate this phone I'll give it an extra star. I'll give it a 5 stars. Because the hardware on it, when I first got the phone, it was already saying that it had issues with storage. It was taking up a lot of storage space. So the things that I'm looking forward to, as far as having a phone like the Samsung Galaxy Fold and Flip, is they say they have that much space on the phone, but how much is taken up by brick apps?
Oh yeah, that shit that comes on the phone that you can't take off.
It's not used.
Yeah, well, ironically enough, when you read the box to most of these phones, they don't be saying it in the advertisements and online, but when you read the box to these phones, when I buy a phone, I actually ask them to show me the box that the phone is going to come in, because sometimes it has shit on there that they don't tell you in the store, in the commercial, or online. However, the only thing I really heard about this phone just now that I don't like is that it does not support 5G. I'm not finna buy a new phone that doesn't have the latest, version of mobile internet or whatever. But all in all, the phone will be available in the US and Korea starting this Friday, aka Valentine's Day, aka February 14th. And it'll be available, I'm guessing the base market price is $1,380. And that is all for today's nerd.
That's too damn much money still. If I'm be buying that damn phone, I want it just to be some good ass quality shit, bruh.
Well, everything sounds quality except that 5G shit. But that is all for today's Nerd News Update. We're going to talk to you guys. I'm going to tell you guys about our sponsors, and then we're going to hop into today's topic. I'd like to take a second to remind you guys about our sponsors. First up, in no particular order, of course, we got Sweet K's Cakery. When we talk about cakes, we talking about all the cakes. We're talking about cakes, cupcakes, cake pops, pies. Hell, she'll probably make you a pot pie if you ask her hard enough. And it all will come with your own custom design. So make sure y'all hit Instagram and check out Sweet K's Cakery. Also, we got Creative Customs. We must be on a customization tip. So when it comes to custom-made clothing and apparel as well as footwear, you can get it all at Creative Customs, from shirts, drawers, bras, and all. You can get it all. Make sure you check them out on Instagram, Creative Customs. That's KRE, the number 8, TIV Customs. And last but definitely not least, we got to give a big fat shout out to 25-8 The Gate. They definitely been one of our biggest sponsors since day one. They've been big believers, and you will be able to soon find us in rotation on the online radio platform known as 25-8 The Gate. So make sure y'all check that out online. It's all by Marketing the Pie Entertainment. Can't forget about the friends of the show. My boy Hitman the Hitmaker, Mr. Real Talk, got his brand new mixtape to come up that just dropped February the 7th. Y'all can find it on my mixtape, Spin Rilla Live Mixtapes, as well as Spotify, Apple Music, and videos coming soon on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, my buddy Von Roberts has what I consider one of the first YouTube comedy specials with his EP Nightcap. You can find the audio also on Spotify and Apple Music, but you can catch the whole thing in full, like I said earlier, on YouTube. We mentioned my buddy Cool Cutlass earlier. Make sure y'all check out Heartache PKB, and it's coming out this Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. And it'll be available on Spotify, Apple Music, and videos all dropping on YouTube. Can't forget about my girl Koya Z over at Vibe Time Podcast, one of my favorite podcasts after Urban Nerd Weekly, of course. Make sure you want to get yourself in a good mood. Make sure y'all check out Vibe Time Podcast. It's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as Google Podcasts. So make sure it's a five podcast, man. Make sure y'all check that out. But moving on to today's topic, guys. So today's topic, like I said earlier, it is all about the vixens of the comic book world. We're going to take a look at 4 in particular today, and in honor of the release of the movie Birds of Prey, y'all already know we got to start with the very, very sexy Harley Quinn. Now we're going to go ahead and go into the backstories of each one of these ladies, and then I'm going to give y'all a little bit of the reason why I think they so sexy. And then we're going to put up a poll at the end of the episode. It's going to be up on the Urban Nerd Weekly Twitter page, and y'all make sure y'all hit that vote for your favorites, because the ladies up for tonight are Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Mystique, and Catwoman. And you see how nicely and evenly got 2 DC characters, 2 Marvel characters, because they both got some very good looking bad girls in there. All right, so first up, Harley Quinn, aka Dr. Harleen Frances Quinzel, is a fictional character appearing in media published by DC Entertainment. The character was created by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm and first appeared in Batman, the animated series, in September 1992. She later appeared in DC Comics' Batman comic books, with the character's first comic book appearance in the Batman Adventures number 12 in September 1993. Harley Quinn is a frequent accomplice and lover of the Joker. When she met while working as an intern psychologist at Gotham City's Arkham Asylum, where the Joker was a patient. Her name is a play on her name, Harley Quinn, a character which originated in the Commedia dell'arte. The character has teamed up with the fellow villains, the Catwoman and Poison Ivy, several times. The trio being, oh shit, I just realized Catwoman is DC. So I guess it's 3 from DC and only 1 from Marvel. I guess I could have went and found somebody else from Marvel, but fuck it, we're here now. Anyway, where was I at? Poison Ivy is a close friend. And she teams up with fellow, for this episode, turned comic book vixen Catwoman and Poison Ivy several times, in the trio being known as the Gotham City Sirens. Poison Ivy is a close friend and reoccurring ally of Harley, even being depicted as her girlfriend in recent comics. Since the New 52, she is now depicted as an anti-hero who left her abusive relationship with the Joker and her past as a supervillain behind. So she's an anti-hero, but no longer a supervillain. I like it. I dig it. That's kind of like Catwoman is, though. You know, Catwoman's not really a good guy or a bad guy. Poison Ivy, definitely a supervillain, though. Harley Quinn has also been depicted as a recurring core member of the Suicide Squad. Harley Quinn has been adapted into the various other forms of media. The character has appeared in both live-action and animated television series, films, and video games. The character was originally voiced by Arlene Sorek in the DC animated universe. Since then, she has later starred in her own animated series with her voice provided by Kaley Cuoco. In the Birds of Prey television series, she was portrayed by actress Mia Sara. In the Fox series Gotham, a character known as Esco, portrayed by Francisca Root Dodson, and bearing all the characteristics of Harley Quinn, was introduced in the 4th character. The character made her live-action feature film debut in the 2016 film Suicide Squad, portrayed by Margot Robbie. She reprised the role in Birds of Prey that just dropped, and she's going to be Harley Quinn again in the Suicide Squad sequel that's coming out in 2021. So yeah, like the, you know what I'm saying, like they was telling you earlier here, she first appeared around 92, which means that those cartoons and comic books were beginning to be circulated around the time that I first started getting into comic books and cartoons and stuff like that, because I was like 5 and 6 and 7 and shit in 96, 97. So all that stuff had time to bubble up and get popular. So with her, although she is a more recent addition to the DC universe, like, she's actually newer than Cyborg is in the DC universe. I never would have thought that. However, she was one of the first cartoon chicks I ever, like, oh my God, I see why. Like, I knew immediately why the Joker had her on the squad, because she was all bubbly and excited and wore them tight outfits all the time. I mean, they all wear tight outfits. Let's not even fucking bullshit. Like, you could definitely tell the cartoon, like the cartoonists and illustrators in the comic books are a bunch of horny nerds, because they made every chick in that in comic book history has a nice rack, a freaking nice bod, it's rocking, and every single outfit is skin fucking tight, so they show off all that good shit. All that. Alright, so next character in our comic book Vixens discussion is Poison Ivy. So here's a little bit of back on Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy, aka Pamela Lillian Isley, is a fictional supervillain appearing in comic books published by DC Comics, commonly in Batman stories. Poison Ivy was created by Robert Kaniger and Sheldon Moldoff, and made her debut in Batman number 181 in June of 1966. So yeah, Poison Ivy is actually pretty definitely not a rookie in the DC world, kind of like Harley Quinn is. She's been around for a minute. And you know what? I'm gonna go back to Harley Quinn for a minute, because I always like talking about like the actual things that make the characters, like, you know, unique, like what are their abilities and shit. So I was about to read off Poison Ivy's, but let's read off Harley Quinn's first. She's an expert gymnast. She has an immunity to various toxins. She utilizes weaponized props, and she is trained in psychology. So y'all already know what kind of bitch fuck with right in there. You know what I mean? However, Poison Ivy's abilities include. Just give me a sec. Her abilities are: she's a trained botanist. She has secretion of floral toxins and mind-controlling pheromones. She's immune to toxins and pathogens, and she has the ability to mentally control the growth of plants via connection to the green earth. Poison Ivy has been portrayed as a love interest of Batman. She has teamed up on occasions with fellow villains Catwoman and, of course, Harley Quinn, like I mentioned earlier, with Harley being her close friend, reoccurring ally, and sometimes romantic interest. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking for some hentai with some Catwoman and Harley Quinn. However, she is a Gotham City misanthropic botanist and biochemist who is obsessed with plants, ecological extinction, and environmentalism. The character's appearance is considered iconic. She's typically drawn barefoot in a one-piece costume adorned with leaves and vines, with occasional variations to her skin tone. She uses plant toxins and mind-controlling pheromones for her criminal activities, which are usually aimed at protecting endangered species and the natural environment. She was originally characterized as a supervillain, but as of the New 52 in DC Rebirth, she has periodically been depicted as an anti-heroine, often doing the wrong things for the right reason. Poison Ivy is one of Batman's most enduring enemies. Belonging to the collective of adversaries who make up Batman's rogue gallery, she has been featured in many media adaptations related to Batman. Uma Thurman portrayed the character in Batman and Robin. And that's the one that got me. That's the first time I ever seen Poison Ivy. And let me tell you, bruh, she had them lips that could kill you, and she had them little pheromones, bro. I'm talking about, I swear it was working through the TV screen, because she had your boy. I mean, she had me. But not digressed. Claire Foley, Maggie Geha, and Peyton List played her in Gotham, and she's also been voiced by Diane Pershing in the DC animated universe, Piera Coppola on the Batman animated series, and by Tasia Valenza for the Batman Arkham video game series, and Ricky Lindholm in the Lego Batman series. So there's been quite a few different actresses that have taken on the role. I wonder if like a certain amount of sex appeal is like necessary to like be considered for, you know what I'm saying, these kind of things. But first two chicks off the list, not only are they sexy, but they have like, there is a part of their femininity in their superpowers in that, you know, Harley Quinn is a trained psychologist, so she could actually get in your head pretty good. It's the only reason she's able to stay alive while fucking with the Joker for this long. But the next very sexy comic book vixen up on the list is without question Mystique. Mystique is depicted as the sexiest blue bitch I ever seen. Girl Smurf or Lady Smurf or whatever the fuck's. Oh yeah, Smurfette. Smurfette ain't got shit on Mystique. You hear me? Mystique, aka Raven Darkholme, is a fictional character appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics, commonly in association with the X-Men. Created by artist David Cockrum and writer Chris Claremont, she first appeared in comic book Miss Marvel number 16, published in 1978. So we got another vet here as a comic book vixen. Now, she has quite a few notable aliases, but all of her abilities encompass shape-shifting, enhanced strength, speed, stamina, durability, flexibility, agility, and reflexes, slowed aging, and accelerated healing. A member of a subspecies of humanity known as mutants who are born with superhuman abilities, she is a shapeshifter who can mimic the appearance and voice of any person with exquisite precision, and her natural appearance include blue skin and yellow eyes. Typically portrayed as a foe of the X-Men, Mystique has been a supervillain, founding her own Brotherhood of Mutants and assassinating several important people involved in mutant affairs. She has been stated to be over 100 years old. Mystique is the mother of the X-Men hero Nightcrawler and the villain Graydon Creed. Oh damn, I didn't know she was his mom too. And the adoptive mother of the X-Men heroine Rogue. In 2009, Mystique was ranked as IGN's 18th greatest comic book villain of all time. Mystique appeared in 7 of the X-Men films. The character was portrayed by Rebecca Romijn in X-Men the 2000, X2, X-Men The Last Stand, and Jennifer Lawrence portrayed a younger version in X-Men First Class, Days of Future Past, and Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix as well. Ain't gonna lie, Jennifer Lawrence just enhanced the fact that Mystique is one of the baddest comic book bitches of all time, because Jennifer Lawrence taking the motherfucker. Alright, so the last, definitely not least, comic book vixen, and keep in mind, you know, there's a lot of sexy ladies in the comic book world, but I was going for vixens, and you know, they gotta be bad girls to make it on this list, bruh. So, but definitely the last one, and without question not the least, we got Miss Catwoman. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I've always been kind of partial to Catwoman, especially considering that, because most of the time Catwoman is depicted as African American, so it's always fun to see sexy melanin covered ladies, and especially when they be bad. It's just something about us nerds, something about bad girls that us nerds just love, man. Catwoman is a fictional character created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane. Bill Finger, seriously, who appears in the American comic books published by DC Comics, commonly in association with the superhero Batman. The character made her debut as the Cat in Batman #1 in spring of 1940, and her real name is Selina Kyle. She is Batman's most enduring love interest and is known for her complex love-hate relationship with the Bats. Now, her abilities are she's an expert burglar, skilled at hand-to-hand combat, a skilled gymnast, utilizes bullwhips, sharp retractable claws, and a climbing batons. Catwoman is a Gotham City burglar who typically wears a tight one-piece outfit and uses a bullwhip for a weapon. She was originally characterized as a supervillain and adversary of Batman, but she has been featured in a series since the 90s which portrays her as an anti-heroine. Often doing the wrong things for the right reasons, like her lady counterparts, the character thrives since her earliest appearance. But she took an extended hiatus from September 1954 to November 1966 due to the developing Comics Code Authority in 1954. These issues involve the rules regarding the development and portrayal of female characters that were in violation of the Comics Code, a code which is no longer in use. In the comics, Holly Robinson and Iko Asijua have both adapted the Catwoman identity apart from Selina Kyle. Oh, I forgot about those chicks, but I do remember reading that when I was a lot younger. Catwoman has been featured in many media adaptations related to Batman. Actresses Julie Newmar, Lee Meriwether, and Eartha Kitt introduced her to a large audience in the 1960s Batman television series and the 1966 Batman film. Michelle Pfeiffer portrayed the character in 1992 in 1992's Batman Returns, and yes ma'am, Halle Berry starred in 2004's Catwoman. This, however, was a critical and commercial flop and bears little similarity to the Batman character. Fuck y'all. Anne Hathaway portrayed Selina Kyle in the 2012 film The Dark Knight Rises. A young version of Kyle was played by Carmen Cordova in the 2014 television series Gotham, although Lily Simmons portrayed an older Kyle in the series finale. Zoe Kravitz will portray the character in the 2021 film The Batman. Catwoman was ranked 11th in IGN's list of the top 100 comic book villains of all time and 51st on Wizard Magazine's 100 greatest villains of all time. Conversely, she was ranked 20th on IGN's top 100 comic book heroes of all time also. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just so sexy when they can just work both sides of the law. You feel me? Alright, but look though, real talk, man. I know we done ran y'all, talked y'all heads off. Nano Kitty Cat, she done had to bow out already in the episode. So we're gonna go ahead and round this thing on out, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and nerding out once again. And as always, man, I thank you so much for doing so. I love you. My name is Space. I was here, but now I'm